morning. Good morning, NERDVENGERS, BrokeVengers, visitors to the towers, lovers, haters, lurkers, everybody in between. Welcome to a Friday edition of the morning stream. We'll get started in just a minute. Smizash the Lizike Plazizis. Pizankas Zuyuz, yes. See you. Yeah. Friday show! It's a Friday show! What's up, everybody? A little unusual, but welcome one and all to the morning stream here on the Den of Nerds Live. It's the best way to start your day, especially if you're a nerd, but not exclusively if you are a nerd. Grandma will have fun too. Today, we're going to be talking about Invincible. Amazon's Invincible. Holy cow. Been waiting, man. Been waiting to make these judgment calls. We needed to see how was the complete season 1 of Invincible, how was the complete season 1 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the other Marvel shows, everything else that's out there. We now have a complete Invincible season 1, and I want to talk with you guys about why I think it is the best piece of content of 2021, why it is absolutely incredible, why I absolutely love the show. I felt like, hey, man, you know, there wasn't anything Marvel or Star Wars this week. We didn't have a watch party. We're going to have 2 watch parties next week. So what a time to just talk about Invincible. Spoiler-free talk about Invincible, the season today. And we're going to get into the ins and outs of why I love it so much, why I'm connecting with it so much, and why I hope that it sets a precedence in nerdy pop culture, because dang, is it a freaking fantastic show. So we'll get into all of that. We'll save time for Q&A, of course, as per usual. I do want to say, too, I guess before we get into anything too crazy, show notes, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing that you have going on today is I will be doing NNR, dropping that at 6 with whatever news drops throughout the day, or maybe a recap of some of the big stories throughout the week. We will be doing a big NERDVENGERS only stream tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you are there. It's going to be pretty juicy. I'm giving away some tea and giving away some other stuff as well. So you guys will want to be there if you are a member. And we will have a business tier stream or a NERDVENGERS Prime stream Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I'm also going to be posting a big video in all the different Discords throughout the weekend to update you guys about some things, because we're making big changes to the content, streams, things like that moving forward. But it's all going to be good. Trust me, it's going to be good for everybody. So look out for that. I'm also going to drop an Invincible spoiler-filled video talking about all the different aspects that I love about the show, where I think some of the threads are going. And I'm not an Invincible comic book reader. I've never read Invincible as a comic book run, but I love this season so much. I will be going out and getting some of that comic and tearing through as much of it as I possibly can, because I loved it. Thought it was absolutely amazing. Other than that, I don't really think we have much in the way of show notes. Just a lot of cool stuff happening. You know what I mean? A lot of cool stuff happening for the channel. And there's obviously a lot of stuff that hasn't gone right this week, technical difficulties, et cetera, but overall, we're moving forward on our goals. We're doing cool things. I'm excited about it. I am excited. And so we'll get into all of that and more in a second. Let me know right now, guys, in the chat. Let's just start here. Yes or no? Have you seen Invincible Season 1? Yes or no? Yes or no? In the chat, have you seen it? Did you see it? Did you watch have you seen it? Did you watch it? Okay, so a lot of people have, but there's definitely some nopes. That is absolutely fine. Let me just say this again. Spoiler free today. Spoiler free. We're not getting crazy on the spoilers, okay? So, let's kind of begin with, I guess, what is Invincible? You know what I mean? What is it? Well, it is a comic book run that was created by the same guy that made The Walking Dead. His name is Robert Kirkman. Very popular comic book writer, a big person in the space, and this was sort of one of his big superhero plays after leaving Marvel, doing The Walking Dead. He eventually started doing this book. It's been something that people have always told me about, and people have been like, oh, you gotta check it out, and I just never got around to it. Okay, and so this animated show done on Amazon Prime is an animated adaptation of that comic book run. Now, that comic book run, I mean, how many issues are in Invincible right now? Let's just look it up. How many issues of Invincible are there? There are 144 issues of Invincible. That's a decent little run, man. That's a huge run. I mean, nowadays that would be ridiculous with comics. Comics don't really go that many issues anymore. But back in the day, they've went a lot. I mean, we used to have like Spider-Man 700, etc. But they split this thing up into compendiums, and it's like these huge, big old compendiums. Now, one of the things that Invincible was always known for, in fact, let me just pull some of this stuff up for you guys to check out. It's kind of fun. One of the things that Invincible was always known for was its brutality. Let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. And it's a very brutal series. There's a lot of cool influence from obviously superheroes that have come before, but some manga influences, some anime influences, some movie influences, Star Wars and different things like that. There's a lot going on in this series, and I find it to be pretty freaking cute. So give me one sec here. Let me pull this up. Yes. Yes. Let's see where we're at here. All right, cool. So these are just some of the images from the comic book. I just kind of want you guys to literally be on the same page with me as I'm going through some of this stuff. I mean, I don't even know what this is about, but that just looks dope. And a lot of the things that we saw in season 1. Now, again, I'm not trying to spoil anything for you, so we'll be light with all this stuff because I frankly don't know what a lot of this stuff means. You know what I mean? Because I haven't read it yet. But I think the big reason that this show is working in the way that it is has to do with the fact that it's like a really story-driven product. Like, Kirkman essentially had no pressures, like corporate pressures or anything like that, when he was making Invincible. You know, if you know the story of Image Comics and all those guys that sort of left Marvel in the 90s and went on to make their own very big and popular franchises, you know, Spawn, you know, Walking Dead, Invincible, which I think now it's going to be huge. They did this kind of just with other creatives, and there wasn't really a lot of corporate oversight. They were the corporate oversight, right? And as I'm watching the show, and I watched the whole season again yesterday, because in anticipation of the finale, I watched the whole season again. And I did watch it with my new lady friend. That's a big mystery that nobody will know about except if you come on Saturday, and I'll spill some tea about it. She loved it too. The thing that's so dope about the show is that it hits on the micro and it hits on the macro. What do I mean? The specific characters and the way that the characters interact and the things that they're doing in the show, it's fantastic. It's really well done. On an episode-to-episode basis, it is built like incredibly. Like, that first episode grabs you by the face and is like, dude, here we go. It's an incredible story. It's an incredible inciting incident. It has so much intrigue and mystery. It's really, really good stuff. And then how it is handled from there is so cool, man. It is so cool. And really on the micro level of an interaction-to-interaction basis, the relationship between the father and the son, because essentially I think I can say some broad strokes of the plot without giving much away, and I'll say that the main idea here is that you have like a Superman-type character, okay? I don't think that's crazy to say, in Omni-Man, okay? Omni-Man is the dad, the guy behind Invincible here, okay? And Omni-Man is a Superman-esque character, and he has a son, and his son does not have powers right away, but he gets them sort of as a late bloomer. Okay? And the main idea here is that there's this awesome Superman-like father that's trying to train his son and get him ready to be a superhero. However, there's a crazy incident that happens involving Omni-Man that more or less puts a weird undertone and mystery around the whole show. And so as you're watching this Superman character raise his son and be Superman, there's also this really crazy dark thing going on. And you're like, what is happening with that thing? And the last episode kind of reveals and opens the entire world up of the show, which is really brilliant. It reminds me a lot of Dragon Ball. I want to talk about a lot of different aspects of the show, but let's just circle back and button this point up. It hits on the micro and it hits on the macro. What do I mean by macro? What I mean is the callbacks and the use of seemingly minuscule throwaway things in the plot, it's amazing. You can tell that rather than like, you know, okay, let me give you two examples. I'll tell you two ways to handle this type of stuff. In the one sense, if it's all story-driven, character-driven, and actually created by, a creative person that wants to, make good stuff and have an awesome story, you have all all these callbacks that really feel organic. There's all this really interesting stuff that happens. A lot of layers to the story, a lot of connections, a lot of macro is what I call it, like world building type crazy stuff. That's how you do it on the one example. The other example of doing this would be like creating a hack job of a movie, and then years later in your comic books trying to like fix that movie plot wise, but you're just creating more like goobly glob additions to the mess, because it's not coming from an actual story-driven place. It doesn't organically happen. It doesn't feel natural, and that's because it is not natural. You know what I mean? Not to name names or say anything or do anything too wild, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. That Snoke shit with Luke's hand is ridiculous. Goddamn ridiculous. Anyway, so in the example of Invincible, it flies on the wings of the creativity of Kirkman and this crazy, interlaced, very detailed, well thought out story and world that he created. There are moments in the show that I didn't even get until I watched a second time and then watched the finale. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, there's an episode where some brutal stuff is happening to Mark, who's Invincible, and his dad is seemingly there watching, but it strikes a different tone than any other time his dad is watching. His dad has sort of bailed him out before. But in this example, he didn't. And I was like, what is he doing there? And then as you understand what happens in the finale, you're like, oh, it has something to do with that one character, because you learn this whole big crazy thing. Okay? That kind of stuff, man, is just icing on the cake. It's just another little reason to fall in love with the show. Now, the show, besides hitting on the micro and the macro, for me, from a story perspective, all of the performances are incredible. The voice cast is stacked, dude. Stacked. Like, it's absolutely stacked. It matters. You know what I mean? It matters. It drives the scenes in a lot of different ways. It's great. You know what I mean? So the acting from a voice level is amazing. The animation, I'll be completely real with you. I think the animation may well be, this is so funny to say this, the animation itself might be one of the weaker elements of the show. I know that sounds crazy and people might be like, what? But like, okay. So what I mean is that, like, if you've ever watched hand-drawn, like, very crazy high-level animation, like something like the movie Redline, if you're an anime fan, you know that took like 10 years to make, right? But like, its fluidity is undeniable. It's ridiculous. Okay, Invincible has that in moments, but let's just be real. It's an American commercial product. They use a lot of composite shotting, a lot of weird animation tricks to save on money, to save on time. Ultimately, this is what's crazy, though. I don't feel as though it detracts from the show. It's just not something I would like hang the show's hat on, so to speak, right? And maybe that will even improve with time, because I think this show's very successful for Amazon, and I think they're going to back the money truck up a bit to really increase and make the show great. Now, that's not to say that the animation's bad, so everybody just calm down. But frankly, the show just, it hits where I think it matters most. You know what I mean? It hits where I think it matters most. And something that's really interesting about this is it reminds me a lot of Japanese anime in a number of different ways. So I recall watching Dragon Ball Super when it was airing, when it first started airing like 5 years ago or whatever, 4 or 5 years ago. And the thing that was interesting about that was there was no American or Western distribution on that anime right out the gate. So the only way you could watch it if you were in the States is you had to watch the Japanese version of it. Now, here's the thing that's crazy. The Japanese version was not at the production level that Westerners are used to at all. Like, there were some horrible looking animations, like bad ones. And to the point where even Toriyama had to comment. It was like a weird thing. But here's the thing. The reality is that's more acceptable in their culture than in ours, because to them, they just look at anime and manga very differently. And it's really story driven and character driven. And so, like, there wasn't an expectation for Dragon Ball Super to look absolutely incredible each week. They knew what it was. They knew how fast the turnaround and everything were. They were more focused on just getting that story, getting that feeling, getting that vibe, you know? And I sense something similar happening in Invincible. You know what I mean? Where it's like, look, we're gonna, we'll put the very important scenes we will do a lot of work on. You know what I mean? But there's some stuff that is just not as important, and we're not gonna kill ourselves to make every frame and everything look incredible, right? That's just kind of one of the parallels. Something else that's really interesting. I would love to ask Kirkman, and perhaps it's already out there on the internet in different interviews or something like that. But there seems to be a heavy Dragon Ball influence on this show. And I'm wondering how much of that was on there, because the Image guys classically did say, especially like Jim Lee, and I definitely remember Jim Lee saying this, and I definitely remember Todd McFarlane saying this, that anime and manga had a huge influence on their art styles. Huge influence on their art styles in the 90s. So I'm wondering how much Dragon Ball had a big influence on Invincible, because especially with regards to sort of this season's big twist, it is very similar to when we go from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z. And whoa, baby, do I love what I think could be happening with that, because it opens it up to like a whole new sort of galactic level, which is pretty freaking cool. And again, how crazy the callbacks and stuff were. There are moments and setups in season 1 that you look back and you're like, wow, I really didn't think that was significant at all. And then you watch the season finale and you're like, holy shit, that's crazy. And in the epilogue setup for season 2, it literally shows you how all of this stuff is being pulled together and brought into fruition. It's crazy, man. It's just very well thought out. You know what I mean? It's just very, very well thought out. You know what else about this show that's incredible? It's something that, it's kind of like the intangibles, man. It's kind of the intangibles. Let me just say something that I think might, well, honestly, most of you guys, this won't surprise you. The NERDVENGERS, I don't think this will surprise you. But the way they handle social media and interact with their community is a huge draw for me. It's a huge part of why I love this brand, dude. First of all, they have a lot of fun with the show, with the memes. They seem to be very social and active with the community. But on top of that, they're releasing episodes early, and it's like they created this weird ritual each week. Like, and you guys know, like, about branding and community and stuff. This is my fucking ballpark. This is my shit. So they've created rituals with how they handle their social media, and it's just fun, man. It's on brand, and it's an extension of the fun that people have with the show. It's so brilliant, and I think a lot of companies should pay attention to how they're handling that social media, to how they're interacting with fans, to how they're creating expectations. I'm really excited. It's fun to be excited about some nerdy shit again, because, like, look, let's just be real. Like, some of the stuff that's been going on with Marvel has just been frustrating. You know what I mean? Maybe you fall on a different plane. Maybe you don't consider yourself as frustrated as me. That's totally chill. You know what I mean? Star Wars, also kind of frustrating. You know what I mean? My big brands, my beloved brands, are kind of going through it right now. You know what I mean? Kind of going through it. And, man, this show just shows me, and you know, it's funny because, I'm not trying to go too hard on Marvel, man, but like this show, Invincible, is at least twice as good as Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision. It's at least twice as good, in my opinion. And it's not the gore. It's not any one element. It is the fact that it does a lot right, and it just feels purely story-driven, and it's just this unabated creativity that's drawing me in. Nobody's going to keep checking out if it's gore for the sake of gore. You know what I mean? No. This is gore that hits. This is gore that makes you feel some shit, yo. Like, I was watching the finale, and there's a couple moments in there that were, like, even hard for me to watch. And it's an animated show. And I'm like, whoa. But you know what's funny? it's actually not the gore. It was what was going on with the gore. It's what's going on with Mark. I'm like, dude, no. Like, as I'm putting myself in the shoes of Mark, as some of this stuff is happening, I'm like, no, that's incredible. It's incredible what they've been able to do. It's incredible what good storytelling can do, you know? So what could Marvel learn or extract from the success of Invincible, or rather the critical success of Invincible? I must assume that I'm not alone in thinking that it's as good as it is. Well, I mean, frankly, it's all about that sort of vision and tied together story, which ironically has been something that Marvel has done successfully in their cinematic universe. You know what I mean? It's the little things in the MCU and callbacks and character moments and connective tissue that elevate it. Not create its value intrinsically, but elevate it. Intrinsically, the value is good characters, good movies. That's what it's always been. But that extra juice, that extra flavor, that extra love, man, that's really what it's about. And so I think ultimately, you know, not to bring us back to maybe a negative place, but let me just say that whatever was going on, like if the Geeks Worldwide report about Marvel just now, because of the Sony deal, like figuring their shit out, like if it's real that they had all these plans, but they had to play jazz and they didn't have it exactly figured out because of contractual stuff, because of what was going on with Sony, man, does that suck. Man, does that suck, because it ultimately hurt WandaVision and it ultimately hurt Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it will hurt the brand long term if they don't figure that shit out. Now, the word is they figured it out. That's great. That's wonderful. But in some ways, because Marvel does not own everything and is not just the clear controller of all of this stuff, and because there's corporate interest and oversight, they do not have the ability to pivot and do things the way that Invincible does. Invincible is like the cool X-Wing fighter that can be very mobile and change directions and do crazy stuff and adapt and do all this stuff. Whereas like Disney is like a Star Destroyer or a cruiser. And it just can't, dude. It can't do all that crazy shit. It's powerful. It's strong. It's got longevity. You know what I mean? But it doesn't have the ability to move in this sort of new digital age. I worry, frankly, not that Marvel won't continue to do what Marvel did and get back to business. That's not what I worry about. I actually am very confident that Marvel will be able to do that. What I worry about is that they will go back to doing something that is 5 years behind the times now. Meaning they're so focused on getting back to business as usual, they didn't realize that the world is moving on at a lightning speed. But let me just throw this out there as a caveat and a possible sort of lifeline to Marvel and to Kevin Feige. I do believe that Feige is the greatest producer of all time. I do believe he has the insight and the fortitude to understand these changes, and it is possible he's adjusting his plans not just because of things that are going on with Sony, not just because of the pandy and all of these different things, but because he realizes we need X-Men, we need Fantastic Four fucking now. Maybe he called Chris Evans and he was like, bro, I need you back fucking now. You know what I mean? I know we were going to wait till Secret Wars. Guess what? We're in bad shape over here. You know, Chadwick passed. May he rest in peace. Tom doesn't know what he's doing. Sony's got him by the balls. I need you, Chris. I need you. Do you know what I mean? And if that happens, and if they adjust, and if they change their plans, and they start banging this again, they start fucking bringing banging ass shit back, bro, I don't want to hear one more goddamn excuse about how it was her show, it was his show. We didn't want to overshadow them with the dopest shit that would have made fans lose their fucking minds. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. You're sounding like an idiot. No más, por favore. Give me the fucking juice, Marvel, because Invincible is bringing it, son. Bringing it. I'm about to go spend hundreds of dollars on merchandise and books and fun stuff with the Invincible brand. You know what I mean? They fucking got me, son. They got me. I'm pumped about this show. I'm pumped about this brand. A lot to love. A lot to be excited for. Give me some juice, Marvel. Please. That's what I'm asking for. So anyways, I've blabbered enough. Let's see what's going on in the Q&A. I want to know what you guys think. Again, no spoilers. No spoilers. You know, we kept it pretty spoiler free. I will be doing a spoiler video about the show later because I love it so damn much. But let's see what's going on with y'all. Get this pulled up. Let me get it pulled up so we can talk about this shit. Let me get it pulled up. It's so fun just to talk about Invincible, man. I hope the show does gangbuster numbers. Hope the show blows up, man. Brad Morse, welcome to the NERDVENGERS. You are a NERDVENGER now. Let's check these super chats out. See what y'all are saying. Let's see what y'all are saying. Darth Drunk says with a $5 holla, take my lunch money. I don't need any Mickey D's garbage in my body. Hey, that's fair. I haven't had the Mickey D's in a while, but I'll tell you, I do love it, man. Quarter pound of cheese, come on, man. Every once in a while, it doesn't hurt you. Big Steve, actually probably does. Big Steve at the $20 holla says, thanks for the spoiler-free talk so I can watch. Take my money and take the missus out for a nice dinner. Olive Garden. Hey, thanks, Stevie. I appreciate that, man. That's very nice. That's very kind. CGM Show with the $10 holla says, yes, Marvel should be scared about a show that the entire time was coming out alongside Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It never trended once. I don't think anyone ever. I don't think. Hang on, let me get this right. I don't think anyone even talked about it until now. Fair, CGM Show. Fair. I'm now gonna make it my personal mission. You know what, CGM Show? We're an Invincible channel now. It's just all Invincible all day. I'm gonna do nothing but Invincible videos. I was planning Star Wars videos today, CGM Show, but no, your attitude. No, I'm just playing, dog. You're probably right. But hey, look. How's the show ever going to get its deserved clout and status of supremacy if I don't come out here and speak this ish, man? You know? A couple of you might go check the show out now. A couple of you might tweet positively or post positively about the show now. It's good enough for me. Lord Vito with the $2 holla says, gamble 10,000. Y'all are going nuts. I don't see this because I don't look at the chat while I'm in a freaking monologue or whatever. But y'all are doing the most right now in this gambling. I hope somebody makes out big. Big Stevie with the $5 holla says, the animation is very reminiscent of 80s and 90s animation. Nostalgic for me. Yeah. No, I like it. I'm for sure. Love it. Nathan Tattoos with the $5 holla says, dude, if the train scene will forever change my view on that show, the other brutality is just breathtaking. Yeah, the train scene was a moment, man. That was a moment. That was a moment. You know what else? Stevie, do you know that scene takes place 15 minutes into the show? Do you know that 15 minutes into the finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I wanted to punch myself in the face? 15 minutes into the finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I wanted to punch my own face. 15 minutes into the Invincible finale, I needed to rethink my life. You know what I mean? Just going to say it. Just keeping it real. Nathan follows up with, everyone calm down. I just said the train scene. No spoilers here. Yeah, everybody calm down. The train scene. It's pretty crazy. That's all we're saying. And now you have something to look forward to. Lord Vito says, I think Kevin Feige is a pimp, and no matter how much bad content he puts out, once something fire hits, we'll all be right back on his D. Well, you're probably right, brother. I mean, look, in Eternals, the more I hear about Eternals, I'm like, whoa. You know, and Shang-Chi looks lit. I mean, you know, we got to get to the back half of the year. But currently, let's just call it what it is, man. Marvel had two iffy little, shows to me. And Invincible literally blew my hair back, baby. Damn, I love that show. Brian Stone with the $5 holla says, happy Friday, Josh. Keep up the great work. Also, Jason Alexander for MCU Norman Osborn or bust. Let's go, dude. That would be great. Why not? Slow-mo says, old school comic head, but have you read Astro City from Image or 100 Bullets? I've read 100 Bullets. I think I've seen Astro City, but honest with you, I have not read it. But I have read 100 Bullets. Pretty wild. Trev says, Invincible is appealing to so many because of the Dragon Ball influence and over-the-top violence. Marvel can't compete with that. Hey, it's a fair point. The Doc says, love Invincible, all the violence, speed, and momentum. Thank you, Doc. Yeah. Mas says, Invincible and Amazon keep Disney on their toes and giving me the newness. Take my money and support indie. Well, you know what's funny about that, Mas? I'm pretty sure every single purchase you make of Invincible products, and I don't know this to be completely fact of all instances, so, forgive me. But I think generally speaking, I can make this statement. I would venture to say that anything you buy, including the books, compendiums, statues, etc., for anything indie like this, a much larger percentage of the money is going to go to the people that created it, to the creatives. I think that's pretty fair to say. So any support you give Invincible automatically will be supporting the people that created the thing in a much more real way, which is pretty interesting. Kyle says, already love the show, but that train scene hooked me. Yeah, man. That was brutal. Kyle says, thoughts on the guys left by Darkwing in episode 1. Yeah, well, we'll get into some of that maybe in some of the spoiler content. I think there's a lot there. There's a lot of interesting threads going on in the show. I'm pretty excited to check it out. Obi-Wan Dahomey with a very generous $25 holla says, Papa Josh, once again, your analysis is spot on and so hyped for you to dig into the Invincible comics. I think Kirkman and co. will have so much fun playing in their sandbox. By the way, designs for the new Hellfire Club? Take my money. Oh, is there designs for like new Hellfire Club or something? What's that about? What's going on with that? What's up with that? Let me check the Reddit. There's some. I don't really see anything. Let me check the Reddit. Let me double check the Reddit. Did I just go on a wild goose chase? Oh my goodness. Don't tell me this anymore. Don't say things like this. Malcolm Spellman wanted Spider-Man and Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale. Kevin Feige said, no, stop it. Well, guess what, Kevin? You stop it. You stop it, Kevin. What the fuck's going on, Kevin? I don't want to hear no more of Kevin telling Spellman no. I don't want to hear no more about it. I don't want to hear nothing about that. All right, anyway, I don't see what you're talking about, brother. But thank you, Obi-Wan. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Send me something about the Hellfire Club. Oh, you're talking about for the comics. Yes, for the comics, they look pretty dope. Yeah, those are pretty cool, man. And also, man, yeah, I'm pumped to get into the comic. I actually loved. Okay, let me just be real with y'all. Let me tell you something that really got me pumped, man. Invincible Season 1 was so good that it made me want to write my comics more. I revisited a script last night for one of my comic books, and I'm starting to think about it, issue 2. And that's my shit, dude. Like, you gotta, I feel legitimately fucking moved by the show, bro. Like, legitimately fucking moved in a way that, frankly, I wasn't moved by these other Marvel shows. There were elements of Falcon and Winter Soldier that did move me passionately, but not in the creative sense, bro. Like, as a creator, I sat back and was like, I could do better than that shit. Legit, I could do better than that shit. Now, that's probably not true, but shit, that's how I felt. Invincible made me want to be better. I was like, I don't think I could do that shit, but I'd love to try. You know what I mean? It's just a different fucking thing, man. Just different. Nathan Tattoo says, I'm not a proponent for gambling in real life, but I've been killing it in Nerdcoin. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm excited that you are. T Love says, with a very generous $100 donation, god damn, T-Love says, bro, get that McDonald's and take the lady to Olive Garden and keep up the great content and take my payday money. Also gamble 1,000. Holy shit. T-Love, thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Very generous of you. Too generous, maybe. Too generous. Make sure that you can actually go to Olive Garden yourself. Holy cow. Overbound Game Studio with the $5 hollow says, James Franco as Goblin. He did live in New York for a while. He might be canceled, though. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would consider James Franco a predominant or a prominent New Yorker. If it's something about the way they said that made me think like you'd have to think of this. It's like De Niro or I mean, honestly, when I think of like De Niro, Pacino, Pesci, Pacino like moved to Hollywood a long time ago. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Like, that's a New Yorker. You know what I mean? Like, Jay-Z's a New Yorker. 50 Cent's a New Yorker. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Ben Friel says, hey, Josh, I have a theory that Alfred Molina's Doc Ock is the person who told the MCU's J. Jonah Jameson who Spider-Man was at the end of Far From Home. Whoa. That could be, but what about the footage from... I don't know. Maybe. I have to look back at that. I feel like I'm missing something there. But that is a cool thought. And, of course, depending on where these other villains are going to know about Peter. You know what I mean? Especially Molina. So, that's a good thought, man. That's a very interesting theory. Kyle says, Joel Kinnaman should be cast as Batman. If you haven't seen Altered Carbon, you should. Best cyberpunk content ever, but Joel is very Batman, just darker. Yeah, I actually love that show. I thought season 1 was much better, which is, again, a fucking shame, dude. Anthony Mackie's legit. That second season should have been better. It's like, what are they doing? Anyway, but yes, Joel Kinnaman is pretty cool. I don't know if I would see him as Batman, though. You know what I mean? But he's super cool. Twilight Wild says, what could we see in Loki? Well, I think, mostly what you're going to see is Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson putting on a fucking acting buffet, a fucking clinic of incredible acting. That's what you're going to see, number one. Number two, hopefully, very well thought out and undeterred multiverse connections and connections to characters like Kang the Conqueror and things like that. Loki has a chance to be the thing we wanted all these other shows to be. You know what I mean? So let's just see if it is. A dude of reviews says, I gambled away my nerd coin. Lady Luck is a fickle mistress. Yeah, I know. Some of y'all are doing great on that. Some of y'all are not doing so great. So it is what it is. I mean, gambling is not reliable. You know what I mean? So let's see here. Stormy says, Invincible was awesome. 10 out of 10. Plus another 10 for me. Yeah, man. Glad that you're here, Stormy. Good to see you. And yeah, man, I'm glad you liked Invincible. That shit was dope. And I'm glad that you liked it as well. For Cuscala Lopez with the very generous $100 donation says, it's crazy to me that they keep moving the plot despite all the violence and action. It's not just a fight scene. There's still a depth to each scene. Also, hello there. Also, take my money. I try to do that in a Kenobi. Take my money. Hey, thank you very much for Cuscala Lopez. Gracias, way. I will say that you make an incredible point. I'm trying not to be spoilery here, but the fighting in... I mean, dude, there's also, oh man, without giving too much away, there's like a Luke Skywalker element to some of this too, right? It's crazy. Like, it's so interesting, man. And yeah, the fights have context. There's even a throwaway fight. There's even a throwaway line when Mark in the new Guardians of the Globe, I think they were called Team or whatever at the time, when they go out on a mission, there's a throwaway line that Cecil says about Omni-Man fighting a kaiju. And then, I mean, they do show a little bit of it. But it's just crazy how it all, like, builds to something later. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. Remember that episode we all thought was garbage because, well, there was weird stuff going on, and we were like, what's the point of all this shit? Well, that technology and that villain plays a major role in what's moving forward. It's crazy. I was like, whoa, okay. Which is so different than filler that other episodes and shows do, man. This thing is tight, son. This shit is tight. Toit like a toiga. Sheev the Wise with a $5 holla says, Josh, you move a lot of us the same way. Thanks for thanks for being a G to me and the NERDVENGERS, and frankly, be the coolest content creator. Get some coffee. Hey, man, I appreciate you, bro. That's very kind, Chief. That is very sweet of you to say, man. Thank you, my friend. Trev says, New Yorker or not, give me Nick Cage as Norman. Nick Cage as Norman would be dope, bro. I don't know if he's a New Yorker, though, Trev. By the way, we don't know if that New Yorker is going to accept the role. We just know that's the one that Marvel wants. That's who they've approached, right? They've approached a New Yorker. So who could it be? I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. You know what I mean? And hopefully we'll know more soon. Let's see here. Veed says, 4 hours of Snyder Cut or 4 hours of Invincible? Which would you rather watch? Well, look, let's just be fair and put them both up against each other straight up. I still think I would still probably take Snyder Cut over Invincible. But, like, here's the thing. Like, from a content perspective, like, okay, from a cinematic filmmaking critical thing, I would have to still give it to Zach. I truly, really believe that shit is amazing, okay? But let's talk about from a content perspective, because content doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? The world has changed, okay? Snyder Cut is like it's a civil war within Warner. You don't know if you'll ever get any more of it. It's toxic. No matter if you're like fighting for it or you're trying to shit on it, you got to admit that shit's toxic, bro. So it's a toxic, unenjoyable, with very little future. How can you even get that pumped about it, basically is what I'm saying, right? When I talk about social media, what do I say? You know, social media, the impact, the branding, it's very important. Invincible's fucking killing it over there. And the Snyder Cut and Warner Media do nothing but cause pain and damage. Okay? So as a thing, isolated from the world, if you could do that anymore, which you fucking can't. That's the lesson. But if you could, I would be able to agree that the Snyder Cut, if I'm in like a private viewing and I'm just viewing all of it, yeah, man, the Snyder Cut is probably pound for pound a stronger thing, a stronger piece of finished art. However, when you take it out of that totally isolated space and you bring it into the real world, which is what commercial art is, all commercial art is an intersection of business and art. It's not even close, dude. It's not even close, despite the value that's in the Snyder Cut. Warner Media seems hell-bent on shitting on that, right? So, which I'd rather watch. I mean, right now I'd rather watch Invincible again just because, like, I'm high on that shit, right? But, dude, Snyder Cut is great. I've recently rewatched the Snyder Cut, and it is amazing, dude. It is amazing. You know? So, fair point. Stormy says, doing a review with Adam and EG. Want to join? Of course I want to, Stormy. Of course I want to, but I will not be able to, my friend. You know what I mean? My days are pretty locked up these days. Let's see here. Twilight Wild says, what are your thoughts on Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Did you like it or hate it? I mean, I liked it, but if you watch my videos, you'd probably think I hate it, which is funny, but I like it. I'm just super disappointed that it wasn't more dope. It should have been way more dope, dude. I like the show. Doesn't really have a lot of rewatchability for me. It's like, it's just not what I'm looking for, but I like the show. You know what I mean? And you know what else is like, the more I talk about it, there's not a lot of fun for me to have talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You know what I mean? Like, there's just not a lot of fun to be had talking about it. And in some ways, you could make the argument that the show's designed that way, which is weird. You know what I mean? It's tackling a lot of social issues. It's doing things that it thinks are very, very important. And, you know, a lot of people agree. But to me, without backing that up with, like, an incredible product, it's almost a stain even on the things that you're talking about. Because let's be real, you're a commercial product. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to sell me an ideal world while you're literally perpetuating a bad one. We're smarter than that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Do I love it or hate it? No, I like it. I'm frustrated by it and by the situation that Marvel is currently in. Tom says, Josh, you've inspired me to be more creative. Content on my channel has easily increased since watching you daily, and that's down to be inspired by you. So thank you for doing what you're doing. Take my money. Tom, I really do appreciate that, man. It's a lot of these kind words. You know, you guys might think it's like whatever, but like for real, Like, sometimes this game is hard. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't always feel like getting on the mic and doing the stream. For real. You know what I mean? When I'm in here, I get very jacked up. It's a fun experience. It's always fun when I'm here. But sometimes leading up to it, it's not that fun. Frankly, I'm actually a little sick right now. You know what I mean? But little comments like that, they really add up, man. They add up, and they do. And not just to me. I'm sure you guys watch other content creators. You should spend a little bit of time, and if you've got it, a little bit of loot, and make them just feel that love. You know what I mean? Because, man, yeah, it's weird, and I think some of these content creators they're not even fully aware of the pressures that are weighing down on them and the mental health aspects of what they're doing. They're not even aware of it. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. But putting love out there like that for people, and especially other people, guys, you know what I mean? Like other content creators, our people here, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. You know what I mean? So just want to I don't want to downplay that at all. So thank you, man. That's very, very kind. Sheev says, F Warner Brothers. All the homies hate Warner Brothers. For sure, man. Damn, Warner Brothers. Y'all are really fucking this up. Anyway, Panic and Skywalker says, Josh, give me the deets on the new Deadpool cartoon. I don't know much about it. All I know about it is from what I've heard from Charles Murphy's coverage of it. I haven't even reached out to Charles specifically about it or anything like that. So all I know is that it's seemingly very real. It might be a Hulu thing. I think Reynolds is involved. I'm sure it'll be pretty dope. I'm actually not the biggest Deadpool fan, guys. Like, I like Deadpool, and I'm certainly glad that Deadpool fans are eating good, with Reynolds, coming back into the MCU and et cetera, et cetera. I'm very happy for them, but Deadpool's a little annoying for me. It's the same thing with Harley Quinn. Everybody's just like, oh, Harley Quinn. Not really for me, man. Not really for me. Like, shotgun joke characters, like just joke after joke. I'm like, nah. But, again, I'm glad that other people enjoy it and like it. Shelves the Wise Tex Venger says Streamlabs won't gamble 350. What? Really? That's stupid. I'm going to try to look into the Streamlabs stuff, man. I know there's some discrepancies with some Nerdcoin stuff. I'm trying to reach out to people. I want to get, it's funny, guys. We have to get like a bookkeeper or an accountant for Nerdcoin. I know that seems weird, but like we need it. Because frankly, like we haven't even really started on all the dope Nerdcoin shit. We haven't advertised it. We haven't like really talked about it. Once we do, that shit's going to blow up. I need some help. You know what I mean? We need someone to like make sure this is all secure. It's really just for you guys' confidence. You know what I mean? We need to put resources into that so that you guys are confident that it is working the way it is designed to be working. You know what I mean? Kyle says, thoughts on The Boys? Any theories for season 3? Not really any theories for season 3. I'm excited for season 3, but frankly, I thought season 2 was a big step back from season 1. Didn't do it for me. It was not the same magic, man. It was not the same magic as season 1, which is okay, but it is what it is. So maybe season 3 will be a return to form. We'll see. Greg Kish says, is this where I say, take my money? Yeah, brother, I guess it is. I guess it is where you say that. Thank you for the support, man. Appreciate that. Let us see here. Let us see. Jennifer Cook with a very generous $15 holla says, just because we all love you and I want more Nerdcoin. Thank you, Jennifer Coin. Or Jennifer Cook, Jennifer Coin. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Much love coming back at you guys. For real, for real. You guys are incredible. This is the greatest community on YouTube. If people don't realize that by now, which by the way, they're starting to, and they're getting very worried. They're getting very worried. And they should be, frankly, because this shit took time, energy, love, sweat, blood to build, not just from me, but from our team and from you guys. They're gonna want to bottle and sell it, you know what I mean? But they don't have the patience or the wherewithal to actually build a fucking community. You can't buy a community. You can't buy a brand. I mean, you technically can buy a brand, but you can't just skip the process of building that brand with money. Someone has to do it. Someone has to build it, get in the ground and build it. And we've been doing that together, man. It's beautiful. It really feels like a we thing. It feels like when we win, we win. You know what I mean? And that's pretty amazing. Sheep the Wise with the $2 holler says, shout out Kendall from Normies to Nerds and Tim. Absolutely love both of them. Both of them. Elisa Scott with the $5 holler says, get yourself some tea to drink before you go spilling it tomorrow. Thank you, Elisa. That's very kind of you. Bad Doodle says with a $5 holla, had to show some love. First time super. Love what you do and this community. Take my money. Gamble Vengers for life. Oh, man. We're going to have to make an intervention. I'm going to have to hire a gambling interventionist. I'm going to have to hire a NERDVENGERS accountant. And then we're going to have to get our filings in order with the SEC, you know what I mean, to really open. Anyway, Proxy with the $5 holler says, best community out there for sure. Least divisive, most conversational community for sure. We talk, listen, not talk to respond. NERDVENGERS assemble. Indeed. If you're unfamiliar with all the dopeness that's going on in this chat, all the love, if you're like, why the fuck do these people give a shit so much about this dude and this crazy YouTube channel? Well, listen up! It's because we have a lot of different nerds with all kinds of different beliefs from across the political spectrum. A lot of people say that. They're all full of shit. Except for us. Literally, all of them. Full of shit. They're full of shit. We actually have what they claim to do. We actually do the hard work of interfacing with our community. Our Discord server is a shining light on the mountain where people can actually have conversations. Get out of line, too. It's all good. Frankly, just human first. You know what I mean? We're just human first. I'll go second, which is unique. So, you guys are amazing. Thank you. Big Stevie says, all you gamblers need some Nerdcoin. I'm your man. Just remember, the VIG runs immediately. You better have my money by Friday. Stevie's going to start doing Nerdcoin loans. Oh, man. Stevie. Oh, man, Stevie's going to be in these streets. Logan Mo says, love your acceptance and hard work, Josh. Thank you, Logan. I appreciate the love, man. Silo says, NERDVENGERS are the standard for any community. God damn. That's a lot of love. Jedi Jen says, with a very generous $10 holla, I know you joke about grandma's loving... Okay, let me see. I gotta read this whole thing. I know you joke about grandma's loving this stuff all the time. I am here to say that this grandma absolutely loves this channel and all your nerdy content. Love you all. Lady Vengers for life. May the force be with you. May the force be with you, Jedi Jen. Thank you. That's very kind. Lady Vengers, indeed. We got some of the best Lady Vengers out there. Some lady nerds that, man, they kill it. They kill it over here, honestly. I couldn't ask for a better team. I couldn't ask for a better community. It's incredible, man. It's incredible. It's a gift. It's a responsibility. It's something I take really serious. So thank you. You guys are amazing. You guys are too kind. It's a big old love fest in here on a Friday. How about all that? Wonder Bread says, you def doing something right, because I've never given money out like this. I'm known for being a tight bastard. And this is my 5th super. Damn, Wonder Bread. Well, you know what it is, man? I mean, look, I'm just going to say, again, I don't want to, this isn't supposed to be the, let's make ourselves feel dope and shit, but we are kind of dope, so just give me 1 second. You know what it really is, Wonder Bread? I think, because I've been thinking about this a lot. Just because it's like, at some point it is like a thing where it's like, man, like, I just want to make sure everybody's okay. You know what I mean? I love the enthusiasm. I love, our ability to make moves and the support that you guys are giving us, but I also just want to make sure that everybody's okay. You know what I mean? Like, don't put yourself out there. But you know what I think it is it's this, man. I've always believed that there is a pseudo, maybe you could say spiritual, you could say just emotional, whether you're an analytical person or spirit, there's a spiritual side to money in the sense that what you spend your money on affects your emotional state. And affects, therefore, like your spirit or at the very least your mental health, depending on if you're a spiritual person or not. And what I mean is buyer's remorse or wasting money or, having to be super tight with money and not being able to spend on something, that these things are emotional and spiritual. And frankly, a lot of companies, they don't treat people They don't care. You know what I mean? They don't care, bro. That's what it is. It's like all of us, including myself, have lived in the consumer marketplace for enough time to understand that you don't get that your personal extraction of value out of something has nothing to do with the MSRP or some shit that a company does to try to extract value. And like you can tell, man, it's like companies like EA. Like, how are you going to get excited about EA? How can you even get excited about a game published by EA? You know what I mean? Like, it has a rotten association to it. It's not cool, man. They're like predatory. All they try to do is just fucking extract as much money as possible. It sucks, dude. We've all come from and live in a consumer marketplace that doesn't give a shit about you. You know what I mean? And I think just by saying the things that we say, doing the things that we do, and trying to give back with Nerdcoin and with some of these other things, we fucking care, bro. And so I think there's literally a thing that opens up a new place in the mind where literally it's this simple, because I have the same thing. I give a lot to Dr. Disrespect. Okay, I love Doc. I like his content. You know, even if I don't watch a lot, I'm subscribed. I come in, I do like $100 super chat here. I do this, that. I think in my head sometimes, like, damn, yo, like you're doing, you know, that's money. And then like immediately the thought is answered with, but it's Doc. Fucking love Doc, man. You know what I mean? Like, fucking love Doc. I give so much money to bullshit corporations. I spend so much money on shit that doesn't fucking matter. I get so much money to the people that don't give a shit about me. I love Doc. You know what I mean? And that is brand that, again, you cannot buy. That is love you cannot buy. You build that. You build that over time. You know what I mean? So, again, we'll get off this topic, but I'm just charged up. So thank you, Wonder Bread. I appreciate that. Kevin 0326 says, thanks, Josh, giving us the most fun community on YouTube. Also, will you be making any spoiler content on Invincible? Take my money. Yes, Kevin. I'm actually going to get lunch and work on my Invincible video. It might drop today. It might drop early tomorrow because I do want to try to get an NNR done by 6. So we'll see. We're working on stuff. We're still figuring out some of the kinks in the workflow, in the new workflow that we have going on. But yeah, I think we'll be able to do that stuff. Emojo says, Stevie Nerdcoin Broker, take my $2. Nicely done, man. Sheev the Wise says, last super before the bank comes for me. Video should be done today or tomorrow. Been working nonstop. Where can I get an Elisa? I know, right? Shout out to Elisa. Look, you can't get another Elisa, which is why I was like, whoosh, like she is very, very valuable. She's really, really good at what she does. I'm actually surprised that nobody recognized how good she is. Because I found her on a site where I hired to edit. Anyways, no, Elisa's incredible, man. I tell you, this is what I think you got to do, Sheev, is just keep working hard, keep being you, keep building your own personal brand, learn from your mistakes, just be a good person. You'll attract some good people to you. You know what I mean? That's my belief. Tim says, with the $5 holla, much love, Josh. We love and appreciate you. Thanks for building this amazing community. Also, shout out to Sheev. Y'all are some goats. Amen. Amen and thank you, Tim. Very much appreciate that. All right, let's see what's going on in the chat for a little bit. Let's see what's going on in the chat. I'm getting lost in the supers. Let's see here. Hey Josh, want to be on Nerd Council, get Vince Theory to talk with you guys, be entertaining and worth your while, I promise. Sorry man, I've already got a few people I'm trying to get on Monday's episode. I'm not crying, you're crying. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, y'all are awesome. We love everything you do, Josh. Your team and channel is the light to many who are struggling. Much love to you. Thank you, man. I do appreciate that. I appreciate all the support, even just likes, retweets, and all that. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're cutting and pasting Madden for 15 straight years. Justin, I know, bro. Exactly. Like, can somebody just stand up and just say it? You know, you're right, man. You're right. And I think that's where a lot of this is coming from. And yeah. I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe. Love it, Nikki. Very cool. Oh, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Hey, how about this? When's Darren's custom emoji? We definitely got to get Darren an emoji for sure. It's a great idea. Okay, let me ask this real quick. What or how many of you just put the number 1 into the chat if you had not checked out Invincible before, but now you're going to check out Invincible. If you hadn't checked out Invincible before, but maybe now after today's stream, you're now going to check it out, just put a 1 into the chat. I just want to know. And don't, you don't have to lie to me. If you're not feeling it, it's all good. Couple of there, huh? Couple of there. Yeah. Gotta be a burping emoji. I know, right? Yeah, man. Some good ones in there, man. That is fun. Yeah. Lavis got you on there, episode 2. Yeah, man. I've known about it for 18 years, says Trev. Trev's one of those guys. If you were in the comic book shop, Trev would be one of those guys that would just come out from around the corner as you were talking about it and be like, well, actually, and he'd let you know, look, we got to love Trev. You got to love him. He is who he is. You got to love him. But he is one of those guys. You know you are, Trev. Most of us started watching it before you did, Josh. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Kansas Beef Theater. That's like what year are you in, dude? What year are you in? You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. The secret that I don't even gamble. Oh, yes. Blonde, brunette, or redhead. Yeah, that's an interesting question, huh? Nathan says, would you want to see Squadron Supreme? Yes, dude. Yes. I actually would love it if Feige got the people from... Oh, man. Why am I blanking? The Snyder Cut folks. You know what I mean? Like Cavill, Affleck. Dude, make them the Squadron Supreme. Yo! Talk about shots fired. That'd be incredible. That would be incredible. Fable show? Oh, man. Fable's doing a show? Hope it's good. Hope it's good. Yeah. Tried watching it, third anime stream, but then fourth one, try episode 1, got hooked. Yeah. Okay, talking about it before you went live. How does the Den get exclusive rights to the Eagle song? It's our theme song. Shouldn't be hearing it on other channels. No, Dano. We can't do it. Look, that is Harris Heller's song, man. You know what I mean? And I don't know what it would cost to get the exclusive rights to that. I could probably talk to Harris about it, but I mean, we don't need the exclusive rights for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Harris would probably never do that. He makes a lot off of the royalties is actually where a lot of the money comes from, that kind of stuff. I am interested in the Acolyte, and I'm not sure what it's going to be about. I just hope it's really fun. I hope it's fun. I hope it's not too restricted. Maybe some Tanibus, maybe some Plagueis. You know what I mean? Like this. I want to see what the Sith were doing around that time and how they were viewing the Jedi. So, yeah. You take the whole DCU over the MCU as the Dark Avenger? Yeah, man. Josh, bro, buy the Eagle song as an NFT. You know what's funny? I will say this. There's something I have. So there's a comic book that I wrote. I actually showed you guys it late last year. There's a comic book issue that I wrote that I think is fantastic. It's a new character called the Enforcer. And the artist and I have been trying to get back into communication because I've just been so damn busy, but we're finally going to be able to get back to work on it. And I have a very interesting strategy that I want to do with the comics. And I'm definitely thinking NFTs. In fact, I'm just going to say it. I think this would be a cool model for comics moving forward, digitally speaking. I think comic books should do a super limited NFT run, meaning do like 100 issues or maybe 1,000 issues that are NFTs, 1 of 1,000, 2 of 1,000, 3 of 1,000, like, have it all like that and give them like a little bit of an extra oomph. We can talk about what that means. But you make 1,000 of the issues NFTs. You release all of those on Tuesday, and they're only viewable and purchasable if you bought the NFT, okay? And then the next day, Wednesday, that comic comes out free online. Free. because you have to recreate the value structure. You have to recreate it. You know what I mean? I think something like that would be incredible for comics. You know what I mean? Incredible for comics because, first of all, you could sell them at a standard or an auction price. And then the other people could sell those 1,000 issues at a standard or an auction price. And the royalties to the artist and the creator would be written into the smart contract for the NFTs. So like basically like you taking the idea of the digital comic, which like frankly, like why are we paying $4 for a digital comic, right? Well, why are you paying that? Because of publishers. That's why. Publishers are like, you can't do that. You're going to kill our sales, you know? So you recreate a new value structure for the NFTs. People could get them a day early and actually have something that will be a value storage as opposed to a digital comic now, which is like if you don't have DRM freeze, you're not even buying the comic. You're buying the privilege of reading it on a service. You know what I mean? If you really look at the licensing, you're not even buying it. You're buying the privilege to open it, basically. So something like that would be pretty interesting, you know? Anyway, let's look back at the supers for a second here. Let's look back at the supers. Big Stevie says, you just explained why I super chat like I do with that dog story. Hey, man. I appreciate you, Steve. I appreciate you. For sure, man. For sure. And you got that place in the vault. I can't wait to roll it out, man. The green screen stuff should be... I think by the end of next week, I think we should have it. Ethan says, thanks for all you do. A voice of reason in the crazy nerd world. Take my money. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you so much. Rogue Soul says, the $5 holla. Elisa is one of a kind, obviously. Well, Rogue Soul, I think it's obvious too. And having worked with her for as long as I have at this point, I've only been proven more correct. Sheev the Wise says, what do you think of Najee pick? Here come the bank. Yeah, I don't even... Okay, so I'm so far out on... I've heard of... This is for the draft, right? The NFL draft. I mean, look, man, I'm so far out on football. I don't even know... I don't know much about football right now, man. Football is sports ball to me right now. I checked out of football a while ago, just being real. Which, again, is, I think... I mean, endeavor. That's all I'll say. Endeavor. I would endeavor that you make an endeavor into what endeavor is. How about that? Okay, ladies and gentle beings, I think we're going to get on out of here. Here's our exclusively licensed, totally owned 100% our song for the vibe. Just kidding. It's none of that. Don't sue me, Harris. Don't sue me, Harris. But you can come on and talk nerdy shit if you want with me, Harris. That'd be fun. That'd be kind of chill. That's gonna do it for us today, lads and lasses. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Much love to you. Come by tomorrow at 2 p.m. if you want to know all about my new girlfriend. I'm supposed to spill tea tomorrow about that. She's real cool. You're gonna like her. She hates all nerdy things, though. It's gonna be weird. The channel's changing to a candle channel, a candle and makeup. The Den of Candles. We're playing around with that. Everything's changing now. The Den of Candles. The tower will be very much smelling much nicer. I don't know what you want from me. Love is strange. You know, you're building this awesome nerdy company, and then all of a sudden you're falling in love, and it's a freaking candle factory. You know, it's pretty wild. Pretty wild. Anyway, much love, everybody. I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. if you're still watching. We should do a stream. Talk about Dragon Ball and Invincible. We should do it, baby! Hit me up. But also, I'm not here. The stream is over. Everyone else leave. Except for the people that are cool. Which is a lot of you, actually. Damn it! Alright. The stream's over. It's over. Oh man. Little stinger for you. Oh man. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Next week's gonna be wild. Bad Batch, 2 nights. Big old stream tomorrow. Lots of fun stuff happening behind the scenes. What if the person I was dating was another YouTuber? What if it was a YouTuber that you may or may not have seen? Okay, I gotta stop. We'll see you tomorrow.